actual position at that actual day, and I'd just be like, oh my God, that's so cool. He'd say, well, we can update it to right now, push a button, and 10 minutes later the screen would come back up. It was really early computing. I thought of them mostly as toys. We got a Commodore, was it a VIC-20, I think, later, and I programmed a text-only maze game. Really bad idea, but I got really into that. Again, I really thought of it though, this is like in 1979, 1980 at the latest, and so there was no there really, that it was just kind of a toy that I was interested in. And then in high school we had a statistics class that they also had computers, and they taught us Fortran, and I was really interested there too. In fact, to the point where I was like, oh man, if I got out of school, I could go make $10,000 a year, and that'd be cool. And then I was like, but then I'd have the green bill and be an accountant, and I didn't want to. And so, which leads me to bands. I picked up the guitar for real around about that same time, 13, 14, and just like fell in love. The instant gratification of playing music and entertaining people on stage really spoke to me. So then right after high school, I played in bands all through high school. Before I was out of high school, I was playing professionally in a bar, 5 nights a week, 4 hours a night, 15-minute breaks. Your hands are bloody at the end of the night. But I really kind of learned my chops and how to function in that environment and to entertain people who, I don't know if you've seen the Blues Brothers, but I played behind chicken wire, people throwing...
Oh my gosh! Look at that! Holy Mother of God! Geometry!
So we were doing some pretty funny, weird stuff, but I was there for 5 years. All right, so you can see all this stuff back here. That's all our team. You can see all that stuff, all these guys. In fact, all of this is CG, and it's all Massive, which is a software program written by Stephen Regulus, a really clever system. All those guys, all that. You can see there's guys working and whatnot. I showed up early. My job was all kinds of stuff. I worked with Peter Jackson looking at the storyboards, breaking down the shots. We did pre-production for all 3 films up front. Identified all the motion capture, worked with the stunt team and the sword master to figure out how all the different character types would behave and how they would fight with what weapons, and then how to break them down into a motion tree and use that motion tree then to drive animation. You can see here, now there's also something else that happened in this process. See, this is the fellowship right there. Because I had done so much motion capture and directed so much motion capture, I was also, and here they are again, I was also tasked with directing the fellowship, like Surrey and McKellen and Billy Boyd and whatnot. And so that was Sean Bean. That was really particularly interesting. And so I spent a lot of times with those guys. I was on a team though, I was one of the senior guys, but there was a team of us, and we all worked really long days. There I am with Billy Boyd, who's Pippin, and yeah, so there you got that. I can't tell where the timer is, but anyway. So I came home. I was there for 2 years. I did the pre-production on all 3 films, which is why I'm credited with all 3 films, and then worked through the first film. And at the end of that, my wife got pregnant, and we decided to come back to the United States to have our daughter there, because I thought I was worked too hard if I was in New Zealand, still working on a big film like that. Instead, I came back and worked too hard in the United States. Whoops. on the Matrix. Matrix sequels, I gotta clarify. It was Reloaded and Revolutions, and I was hired ostensibly to go in and do something similar to what we had done on Lord of the Rings, use AI sort of architecture to animate the Sentinels in a big swarm for the Siege team. I was on this team with a group of guys, and the Siege is where all the Sentinels come down and break into the big dome and slaughter everybody. And when they explained to me the number of shots, how many Sentinels they wanted to do, and how they wanted to shoot it, which is funny because both Peter Jackson and the Wachowskis would describe it like this. Well, we want like a natural battle to be just happening, and we want to be there like we're documenting it, you know? Which is of course not true, because the second you do something like that, they're like, they get their camera, they're like, can we get these guys over there? And they actually want to compose the shot. But when they described the amount of work they wanted done, I said, so that's impossible. We can't, there's no way we can do that. And they said, okay, start tomorrow. Here's a quick sequence from that, and you'll see, oops. You'll see a bunch of this. Have their own brains, we call them, their own little programs that run. And I'll get into that a little bit more, a little further on. It was quite a project and really fascinating and a lot of work. And then after that, I left ESC and kind of went to work for various studios, freelance, doing everything from CG supervising to just piecework. Like usually they'd find some difficult problem that nobody else could solve and hand it to me. And I do some compositing and other bigger endeavors. And this is Matthew Barney's Drawing Restraint 9, which is a total art film, but really had some interesting visual effects in it. So I was doing that, and I was kind of adrift. I was what we call film gypsy. I was going from film job to film job, and not unhappy, but also seeing that a lot of work was going overseas and kind of seeing that being hands-on was going to not actually work after a while, and I was going to have to become in charge, which I wasn't that excited about. And then this happened. I went to see one of those films. I can't remember honestly which one it was. I think it was probably Pirates of the Caribbean. And beforehand, I saw this trailer. Oops. Oh, this keeps.
Feels she inside, or is this just some pheromone thing that's kicking in?
Pheromones are scents that are given off by the female that create that original attraction.
Of course it's all chemical to start with, but true love is incredible.
But is it rooted in physiology rather than our hearts? I'm kind of attracted to her. Doesn't make any sense.
Why does it have to make sense?
You slept together?
It was before we were dating.
You're dating?
Sort of.
Sort of's a good description. I just thought we had something that night. I didn't think you'd end up...
You're the one that doesn't believe in that feeling thing. Why me, Rand? What makes me special?
So I was at the theater, and this trailer comes up, and I was like, God, that sounds really familiar. And then I realized that a friend of mine who had scored this film had gotten me to come in and play a bunch of guitar like months and months earlier. And all that music in there, the guitar, is me. And I was so just like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing ever. And that's when I thought, hey, maybe that's what I should be doing next. And so I let my friend Bay, who I told you about. Oh, Bay, by the way, is the one who got me down to New Zealand. He designed and modeled the whole system that ran Gollum's face, right? So he animated a bunch of Gollum and put that whole system together. One of the brightest guys I know, still today, for sure. And so I called him, I was like, dude, I want to do music. I want to do music for film. And